Hope I never have to use it, but something tells me I will. Never trust a tourist advertisement.
Now get out!
At last, Mr. Charles Reed. What a pleasure to finally meet you in the flesh.
Nice to meet you.
Johannes van der Berg, at your service. I did promise to meet you the moment you arrived.
Much obliged, Mr. Vanderberg. I guess I didn't expect you to mean so literally.
Please call me Johannes. But where are my manners? Welcome to the proud city of Oakmont. Alas, now is not its finest hour, though it is its most important.
You said you know someone who can help me with my problem. The visions have been getting worse.
Such vividness of dreams is not uncommon here in Oakmont. By chance, the man I spoke of, Robert Throgmorton, is already at the port. He has dedicated a lot of time and effort to investigate this issue. Alas, I fear he has a more pressing matter on his hands.
How can I find Mr. Throgmorton?
Don't worry, you can't miss him. Throgmorton tends to stand out from the crowd.
I'll need a place to lay my head while I'm here. Any recommendations?
Fear not. I've already feathered a nest for you. There's a room in your name at the Devil's Reef Hotel. Here's the key.
Sounds charming.
Don't judge a book by its cover, Mr. Reed.
What's the best way to get around Oakmont? I'd like to drop my things at the hotel.
Most locals go by foot, or by boat. I've got the latter sorted for you. There's one waiting outside the port.
You're too kind, Johannes. Can you steer me towards the Devil's Reef?
Take this map. I've marked the hotel and a few other key places.
Other places? Like what?
You're a private eye, yes? Well, I've highlighted the police station, city archive, newspaper. Places you'll need to get to the truth. This city is insular. Its ways mysterious. No one will take you by the hand, so you better know where to turn in search of a lead.
How do you fill your days, Mr. Vanderberg?
I host a philosophy club for the like-minded intelligentsia, gathering seeds of thought like moths drawn to a flame.
Does Oakmont really have much of a market for philosophy these days?
There is no consciousness without pain, Mr. Reed. No better moment for clarity than times of hardship.
Well, that's it for now, I think. Thanks for helping me get my bearings.
No. The pleasure was mine, Mr. Reed.
Oh, before you go, how can I get in touch with you later?
Don't worry about that. I'm the kind of man who finds you.
I don't care about your petty excuses. No one leaves the port until my son is found, and that is fine.
Excuse me. Are you Robert Throgmorton?
I am, but not interested. Go away.
The name's Charles Reed. I'm a private investigator, just arrived from Boston. I was told you might be able to help me.
Private investigator, you say? Well, perhaps we can help each other.
If I may ask, what happened to your son?
Why do you care? What's your angle, outsider?
Well, like I said, I'm a PI. Finding people is kind of my specialty.
Is it? Well, Albert was part of a deep-sea expedition I commissioned. This useless fool over here says he found Albert washed ashore in a lifeboat. Says he was barely conscious, out of his mind, talking gibberish in some other language. That he even tried to bite him.
And you don't believe him?
Complete malarkey. I know my Albert. I raised him strong and smart, the best of his kind. It couldn't have been him. Albert's disappearance is the work of Innsmouthers. Mark my words.
I take it you're not the biggest fan of these Innsmouthers.
Those fish-faced freaks have overrun this city since the police burned Innsmouth to the ground. But now, those filthy migrants occupy half this damned city. The port, Grimhaven Bay, Salvation Harbor, the shells. They are everywhere.
So they're just refugees?
Hardly. They've taken work from the local fishermen. They stir and agitate against us, the Throgmorton family. We are the pillar of this community, not to mention that crime rates have skyrocketed. Simply speaking, they are a big stinking pile of trouble.
I've heard you're the man to speak to about visions, outbreaks of hysteria. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it myself.
Another newcomer with another problem. Yes, I know what you speak of.
Can I ask you a few questions?
How dare you? My son Albert is missing, and no one in this Innsmouth-ridden city will do a damn thing. But yes, let's talk about your dreams.
Please forgive the question, but I've never met a man quite like you before.
That's because no man measures up to the Throgmorton lineage. Proud and powerful blood flows through our veins. My father united with a certain royal family, which has blessed all our offspring with these exquisite features.
Mr. Throgmorton, let me help you. I'm rather good at tracking down missing people. I'll find Albert.
What makes you think you can do it? Oakmont is not exactly friendly to new arrivals.
Let's just say I tend to see things that others miss. And anyway, what have you got to lose? Sounds like you could use every man you can get.
Vera. You have a point, newcomer.
Sorry, did you just say Vera? What does that mean?
You had better get used to the Oakmont dialect, outsider. That is, if you want to fit in. It is a fascinating blend. Vera means fine. I was saying, we have a deal.
I see. Thank you. I need to know more about what happened to Albert.
Dane, did you not listen at all? I already told you everything. After leaving on the expedition, Albert was found on the shore in a lifeboat. This fisherman supposedly brought him to their house, and then left to call me. But when I arrived here, my son was nowhere to be seen.
Anything else?
Clearly, something suspicious occurred inside the house. I suggest you stop dawdling and go see for yourself.
Where's the house where this all happened?
For Kay's sake, I thought you were a private eye. We're standing right in front of it.
You mentioned a lifeboat. Is it still around?
Yes. Face the house, then to the left is a beach that borders a fence. You'll find it there.
As much as I'm enjoying the weather, Mr. Throgmorton, it's time for me to get started.
Find my son, newcomer, and be quick about it.
I've said everything I know.
Don't do anything stupid, newcomer, and keep your hands where I can see them.
Huh. This dog mat looks better than the owner's bed. The book is damp and damaged, but clearly well cared for.
Let's see what you find, newcomer.
Hello? Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, my head. What? Who are you? Are you police? I've already told them everything.
It's okay. I'm Charles Reed, Private Eye. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son.
Oh, okay. What do you want?
I want to know what happened here. Every detail.
I don't remember much. Me, Paul, and Lewis, we were here. This is our house. Barry was outside, on his business. Then he came back carrying Throgmorton's son. He was unconscious, barely breathing. Barry left again to call Mr. Robert.
Then what?
We put the guy in Lewis's room. Then he started to make these horrible sounds and... okay. My head began to burst, and he woke up. And after that, I don't remember a thing, just dreams. Drowned streets, a sleeping giant, a voice that called me...
That sounds familiar. Tell me about yourself.
Name's Will Hammond. I'm a fisherman. We all are. Live here together. Me, poor fella Paul, Barry, and Innsmouther Lewis Flynn. We moved here after the flood. I worked on the railroad, but the rail ain't kicking anymore, so I started fishing. It was at or starve.
Where are all the other guys?
That's Paul there on the floor. Kay be with him. Barry's outside with Mr. Throgmorton. Lucky rascal missed everything. And I have no idea where Lewis or Throgmorton's son got to. Starting to suspect the worst.
Do you know how Paul died?
I don't know. When I pulled myself together, he was already gone. Kay have mercy on his soul.
Who is this Kay you keep mentioning?
Outsiders, show some respect. Kay is our lord, our light, our love.
Sorry, I didn't know. I'll leave you to it. Take care of yourself, Will.
Please, detective, sir, tell me the truth. Could it be me? Did I kill Paul? Or, Kay, did I kill him?
I don't know yet, Will. The police will stop anyone coming in or out of here, so I suggest you just try and get some rest.
I'm afraid of what I might dream.
I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp. Choo-choo. Ahem.
Glenna, Nechri, Glenna, Gebhal, Nugulina.
Five cards short of a full house. I'm surprised they don't have someone's portrait here. Never seen knives like this before. Masterful work. Seems like Prohibition hasn't affected Oakmont too much. Seems like Prohibition hasn't affected Oakmont too much. So, that's what an Innsmouther looks like. I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp. Never seen knives like... Where's your Oberon, huh, Titania? Something with this helmet gives me chills. What's wrong with it?
Can't catch a mackerel since those Innsmouthers took over the fishing business.
You like it here, newcomer? Well, get used to it. No one leaves Oakmont nowadays.
Mr. Throgmorton, I found this in the lifeboat. Looks like it's your son's will.
Give it to me. Oh, my boy, what did you get yourself into? If only I hadn't sent you on that cursed expedition.
Bye. It would take tremendous effort to move this thing, let alone tossing it over like this.
Take this, ape-face. Yeah, run!
What's happening?
Okay, let's see what we have here.
Yeah, run!
What?
Take this, ape-face. Yeah, run!
When Albert Throgmorton woke up, he was not himself. He attacked the fishermen, and his hysteria spread to them. When he got wounded, he fled. So the fishermen pursued Albert, even let off a few shots. Even though Albert was wounded, he managed to climb that high. Robert wasn't exaggerating when he said he raised him strong. There's something in the pocket. The door won't budge. One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate. One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate.
Hey, got a spare bullet, fella? I ain't eaten in days. Ugh, I'll miss the carpenter's food giveaway with this darn port closure.
Stay alert. Monsters lurk underground. They're everywhere.
Welcome to Under the Keel. What do you want?
I'm looking for a man by the name of Lewis Flynn. Any chance he's here?
Yeah. Even if I knew, I don't rat to newcomers.
As it happens, I know you owe a debt to Mr. Flynn. Trouble is, I found your note near the dead body of Albert Throgmorton, son of Robert. So, it seems Lewis is in trouble. Might have even come here to hide. But you hand him over and he won't be back to collect what you owe. Get me?
Throck. That would explain the blood. Fine. If it gets me out of this mess, you can have him.
So?
He's upstairs. Here's the key. You gotta promise to deal with him, once and for all. But save the shooting for outside, huh?
Smart man. There's your good deed for the day. I've seen some unsettling creatures around. Like nothing I've ever encountered. What are they?
So you met a wild beast, newcomer. No one knows what they are, but consider yourself lucky to still be in one piece. They arrived in the flood. Some say they come from the sea. Others that they are Kay's punishment for us.
And what do you say?
If it bleeds, you can kill it. Keep your gun handy. And if you want to erase the memory, I sell a perfect cure right here. Remember, better to be a coward and live than brave and dead. Unless you're a newcomer.
Bye.
What the... Get the... Oh... Hey, who are you? What are you doing?
Charles Reed, private investigator. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son Albert, so I think you know why I'm here.
Throg. That darn bartender. It was all that crazy ape's fault. You hear me?
Calm down. I only want to speak, for now. But no, if you reach for your gun, you'll hit the floor faster than you can say poetic justice.
I got nothing to hide.
Start at the beginning. What happened?
We were in our house, me, Paul, and Will. Barry'd gone to the sea. Though I told him that it would only bring bad luck. If he'd listened to me, we'd all still be alive.
Come on, Lewis. Focus.
Right. Well, Barry dragged that damn ape to our house. He was bragging about how much Mr. Throgmorton would give us for saving his son. But that ape, he was out cold. Then woke in an instant and started screaming, attacking us. After that, can't remember a thing.
What kind of... why do you... your face, it's,
Oh, so you're here to attack me just 'cause I look different to you? Wanna spit on me, whisper to your friends? What's new?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't know how to ask. I've just never met someone like you before. I didn't mean any offense.
Innsmouther's bodies were blessed by the sea. You're gonna see a lot of us here, so you better get over it. We are proud of who we are.
You shot to kill. No warning, no second chances. You pursued Albert even after he fled. Why?
I can't remember it. When he woke, it was like a bloody mist descended over me. First thing I recall after is that darn warehouse and me covered in blood. I had no idea what happened, though I suspected it had something to do with that ape. Turns out I was right.
I hear there's a bit of a feud between the Innsmouthers and the Throgmortons. Care to fill me in?
Those apes hated us from the moment we arrived in Oakmont. Our home was destroyed. We just needed a place to stay. The Blackwood Grand family sheltered us, but others were not as hospitable. We needed jobs, food, and medicine. The city denied it all.
And so?
We had to fight for every crumb of bread. And those Throgmortons in their high castle only made our life harder, always conspiring behind our backs, always setting people against us. I'd love to see them suffer like we suffered.
You mentioned a grand family. What do you mean?
So you're a newcomer, huh? Explains a lot.
Yeah, a newcomer with a gun. Answer the question.
Okay. People here are crazy about bloodlines and tradition and reputation. The head honchos of Oakmont are called the Grand Families. There's the Carpenters, who control most of the city's underworld, the Blackwoods, who share kin with Innsmouthers through the Marsh family.
And let me guess, the Throgmortons.
Right, those filthy apes. Now that most of the Blackwoods are gone, there's nobody left to protect us Innsmouthers.
The things you did to Albert don't look like a bloody rage. A fatal shot to the head, a hidden body. One might start to wonder if it was deliberate.
I don't know what to say. I wasn't myself.
I think I've got all I need.
Please, Mr. Reed, don't tell Throgmorton about me. I know I'm in no position to ask. I didn't want to do whatever it is I did. Honest, have mercy, please. I have a family. Without me, they'll starve.
This is not exactly cut and dry. I need some time to think.
Perhaps I can offer something to grease your grinds. I still have a few bullets on me.
It turns out I arrived here unprepared for business. You give me a little something to get started, and my lips are sealed.
I knew you'd understand. Here you are, Mr. Reed.
Come closer, troubled soul. Let me tell you what your future holds.
You're some kind of, fortune teller?
Yes, my dear, yes. Oh, it's so clear. Your path holds many surprises, newcomer.
Seems a little generic, don't you think?
I see many things, boy, and I will tell you them in detail for a small fee.
All right, how much? $1?
Your money has no value here, newcomer. After the flood, Oakmonters deal in the practical. Booze, smokes, and bullets. And I'll make it easier for you. I don't smoke.
Some other time. Maybe.
As you wish.
The port is closed by order of Robert Throgmorton. Back off.
Join in, newcomer. Praise the sea with us. Join in, newcomer. Praise the sea with us.
One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate. Mr. Throgmorton, I've encountered something,
What? I don't have all day.
some unusual creatures, and they sure weren't friendly.
You've seen a wild beast, Mr. Reed. I'm somewhat surprised to see you still alive. Those unsettling things appeared after the flood. I've commissioned a few studies on them, but we know little more than when we started. They're aggressive, but fortunately not immune to gunfire.
Yeah, I learned that firsthand.
Try to avoid them when possible. And when you can't, keep your weapons handy.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm afraid I have bad news.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I found your son in the basement of a nearby warehouse. I'm sorry, but he was murdered. Shot in the head and the body hidden.
No. It cannot be true. No, no, no. I don't believe it. No.
I've tracked down your son's murderer.
Where? Who is he?
I tracked the murderer down, but he was attacked by those things prowling the back alleys. And they tore him apart. It was that Innsmouther fisherman, Lewis. He was covered in your son's blood. That may have attracted the beasts.
Are you certain the body is his?
Beyond any doubt. All that's left of him is a heap of flesh and this scrap of cloth. It's from his jacket. Just ask his friends.
Alas, this was my revenge to exact, not some wild beast's. Something must be done about those pests. Still, justice has been served. This isn't closure, but at least I know now the story. Thank you.
Mr. Throgmorton, I hate to press you, but do you think you could help me now?
Yes, you've earned it. Gay to think a newcomer barely off the boat solves a crime the police couldn't, but I digress. Remind me, what brought you to Oakmont?
I think I'm going mad, Mr. Throgmorton. I see things, visions, and I needed to stop. I was drawn here, or guided, or I don't know. But I believe the source of this madness is here, in Oakmont.
You're not wrong, Mr. Reed. An inexplicable hysteria spread through Oakmont after the flood. I funded an expedition to explore recent geological activity that may be responsible.
A geological expedition? I'm not sure I follow.
I have reason to believe the flood and this madness have the same source. As above, so below. So I sent men to find out.
Do these cases of hysteria involve shared visions as well?
Since the flood, many Oakmonters have had similar nightmares. Indeed, Professor Doe, the expedition leader, complained of them herself.
Waterlogged ruins with unnatural architecture. A sleeping giant, drowned streets, and a voice calling from the depths.
Her words exactly. She proposed the expedition, desperately wanting to find the cause.
You mentioned the flood. You think it's more than just a natural disaster.
You weren't here, Mr. Reed. What happened defied scientific explanation.
Has your expedition found anything?
I do not know. Albert was part of it. His passing cannot be coincidence. Why was he alone at the port? And where are the others?
You think your son was killed because the expedition uncovered something?
Is it so hard to believe? I had no news for a week, then Albert, the only one I could trust, comes ashore and is killed.
It does sound suspicious.
Mr. Reed, I want you to find out what's going on. I expect you're as interested in the expedition's results as I am.
If I'm going to look into this, I'll need to know more. Where should I start?
I'll give you the address of the expedition's headquarters and a key.
That's all you can tell me?
Let me be clear, Reed. You do not speak to me like that again.
I'm sorry, Mr. Throgmorton. I just meant the more I know, the better.
I am a busy man. I funded the research, but left all preparations to Professor Doe and Albert. When you've finished, come see me at the Throgmorton family manor. It's in Old Grove. Here, I'll show you.
What about my expenses?
They will be reimbursed after you complete your task. And of course, you've earned some compensation for your work here at the port. I'll also include a fair advance in bullets.
Bullets?
The dollar lost its use here, Mr. Reed. After the flood, Oakmont returned to bartering. Bullets mean more than bills.
Crew of the Cyclops. Semper Fortis, brothers. Never again, they say. No matter how much of this I chug down, the visions always return. The door won't budge. Makes this place feel more like home. I miss Boston already.
Finally, you're awake. Gotta tell you, though, mister, you want to stay on here, you stop making all that noise.
Sorry, but who are you again?
You bang your head or something? I'm Victor Olmsted. I own the place. This place. The Devil's Reef Hotel.
Noise? What noise are you talking about?
I expect my guests to be respectable. Moans, chanting, all that kind of thing. It stops, all right?
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't really remember what happened, but I'll do my best.
Yeah? Well, next time it happens, you end up sleeping under the bridge like the other newcomers.
You're not exactly friendly with your guests. Aren't we the ones keeping you in business?
All these newcomers after the flood, they're stark raving mad.
What do you mean?
You can't imagine the crazy notes and books I find after they move out. Only thing they're good for is lighting the kitchen stove.
Can I have a look?
I knew it. I tell you, no one sane would be interested. And you want to take a look? Well, fine. Take what you wish. I'm watching you, newcomer.
Hey, handsome. Wanna have some fun?
Guess I don't need the key. Someone smashed it beyond repair. Can't say I ever saw another shell like it. Can't say I ever saw another shell like it. Are a few damp papers all that's left of the expedition?
We don't have time to picket. Stand back. I fatah me fe I regach I Dagon.
Grab the papers. Smash the rest. Burn it all. Make sure you get the adverts.
Time to figure this out.
We don't have time to picket. Stand back.
Grab the papers. Smash the rest.
I fatah me fe.
Burn it all. Make sure you get the adverts.
Several men broke into the expedition headquarters. What they didn't smash, they burned. The archives, even the newspapers. Guess this helmet's beyond repair. Can't say I ever saw another shell like it. Are a few damp papers all that's left of the expedition? Hello, officer.
Well, look who finally decided to show up. If it ain't Charles Reed, the genius that cracked the case of Albert Throgmorton. Captain Caleb Lyons at your service. What can we simpletons do to assist you, Mr. Holmes?
Do you and I have a problem, officer?
No. Aside from making everyone in the Oakmont Police Department look like idiots, let me be frank, newcomer. You ain't welcome. You slip up, don't cross a T or dot an I, and I'll treat you like every other criminal here.
Okay. Well, can I use the police archive in the meantime?
You can, but only because of Mr. Throgmorton's patronage. And heed me well, you're on mighty thin ice, and I'll be under it when it breaks.
Please, help me out. I'll take anything you got.
The old papers are by the door. Take them and stop bothering me already.
I think you've got me confused with someone else.
Aren't you a newcomer?
Yeah, I guess I am a newcomer. Charles Reed, private investigator. And I also need your old newspapers, the archive, to be exact.
Ah, so you're the one who cracked the Albert Throgmorton murder case. Nice work. I'm Helen Bland. Say, can you do me a favor? Give me an exclusive interview. You won't regret it. The Oakmont Chronicle is the best newspaper for miles around.
All right, I'll be sure to make some time for you, Miss Bland. See you later. you still want that interview? I got some time now, if you're ready.
Oh, absolutely. We know that you're the private eye who solved the case, but tell our reader something more about yourself.
I'm a former Navy diver. Served on the USS Cyclops, and, well, after the war, I found myself in Boston. I've been a private eye ever since.
Oh, a brave sailor. Well, I imagine you'll get accustomed to local life easily. We have plenty of water around here. Maybe we'll have the chance to work together later. Who knows? And now the big question. Why are you here? What brought you to Oakmont?
Currently, I'm tracking down the source of the psychic phenomenon that's been causing madness and visions all across the country.
Yes. It affected people here, but we were much more concerned with the flood. Though Robert Throgmorton sent an expedition.
Yeah, and then hired me to find it. Ironic, don't you think?
I think that's enough for now. I can't give the readers too much all at once. Thank you for your interview, Mr. Reed.
My pleasure. Maybe I'll do something interesting enough to make the papers again. You never know. See you later.
Damn newcomers!
Ah! Ah! Thank Kay. At last. Hey, help! Help!
What's going on?
Sea creatures. Swarmed over the piers. I hid here, but these walls won't stand up to them. Please help me.
What creatures? What are you talking about?
Wild beasts. They came to feast on the blood. They're eating the dead.
I'm looking for Captain Sanders. Is he here in the port? Did the creatures get him?
I saw Sanders. Help me. I'll tell you what I know.
Shot dead. Point blank. They emptied every chamber. Still stinks of burnt powder. Gotta be out of your head to do this to a man. The monsters sure didn't leave behind much. They were in high spirits, and plenty of them were drinking. This would be a weird artifact in any collection. Cape Cod. There were marks here, but they've been erased.
You can't take me! Eat this! To the mayor with you! Die! Die!
No more drink. All we've seen. And you telling me we ain't allowed rum?
Let's get a handle on what actually happened here.
No more drink. All we've seen. And you telling me we...
To the mayor with you! Ah! Die! Die! Ah! You can't take me! Eat this!
For whatever reason, the crew went berserk. Only one man got away. I've dealt with the creatures. Now, tell me about Sanders.
He got back several hours ago. Those things, they came because of him.
What happened on the Titania?
It was horrible. A damn massacre. I heard the shots. I went out. I saw the whole thing. Sailors bleeding, dying. Blood hit the water, and then... well... then the wild beasts came to feast.
This Sanders. What kind of man is he?
Newcomer. He seemed like a decent guy. Okay captain. Treated his crew well.
I gotta find Sanders. Where is he?
Saw him get away. Just after the shooting. Ran for the pier. Didn't see where he went after that.
Did you see anyone else from the expedition?
No. Only Sanders. I'd bet my life no one else made it back.
something you like. Cheaper than the rest.
Patient or visitor? Hold on. Let Dr. Grant guess. A visitor. Though you are a bit pale, you don't have a headache, do you?
The usual. Nothing to write home about.
Ah, a chronic headache sufferer. Fascinating. By coincidence, I was studying helminths and their role in illness before the flood. Did you know that all of us are infected by helminth? Your headaches could indicate that they have infested your brain.
That's news to me, Doc. Sounds serious.
May I suggest you become a subject in my experimental medical program?
Experimental medicine. Well, I guess it can't be any worse than the asylum in Boston. Count me in.
I'm delighted to hear that, Mr.
Reed. Charles Reed.
Mr. Reed, take these pills with some water. They're a potent measure against parasites. Contact me when you feel improvement.
What the hell did you give me, Doc?
Is something wrong? You seem perfectly healthy to me.
Your medicine blinded me, and then it gave me these visions. Worse than a blow to the head. What are you trying to pull?
Intriguing. These side effects are a new development. I'll have to run some more tests. Let me know if anything else happens, won't you?
I'm looking for a man. Just checked in. Cut up pretty bad.
I've got a trauma unit full of patients like that, sir.
Okay, this might ring a bell. My guy has a deep axe wound in his shoulder.
Sir, I really don't have time for rifling through paperwork, but you're welcome to take a look at our archives if it means that much to you.
It looks like hard work in these conditions. You need a hand?
Well, yes, actually, but it may result in close contact with the wiles. Is that going to be a problem?
I'm prepared to face men and beasts alike. Count me in.
Ah, I can see it in your eyes. Well, I have taken it upon myself to study the wild beasts, but need more data to confirm two of my hypotheses. One concerns the multi-handed creatures, and the other the vomiting humanoids.
What have you found out about the multi-handed beasts?
One of my patients saw them in his nightmares before the flood. I can't visit him, but he must know something. Here's his address.
Those hideous wretches seem almost human. But what could turn one into such a monstrosity?
Jim Bells, a patient of mine, was admitted to hospital with symptoms resembling cholera, but he turned into one of those things. Incredible. Here's the address. Find out what happened.
Bye. happened to you, mister?
Pete, explosion, fishing with dynamite. Hurts talking.
I'm sorry. Well, get better soon. Bye.
Oh, my stomach. I ain't never eating leeches ever again, no sir.
Yeesh. What happened to your shoulder?
Some psycho in a bar brawl. Gun came out, he clipped me good in the shoulder. Something I can help you with?
I'm just looking for someone. Captain Sanders.
Captain Sanders? Never heard of him. I'm Joseph Willow. You should probably look somewhere else.
That's funny. The records say you were admitted for an axe wound, just like a certain Captain Sanders got in the port massacre. Spill.
Oh, to the depths with it. Who sent you?
I'm asking the questions here, pal.
Yeah, well, first tell me who you are.
Charles Reed, Private Eye. Throgmorton wants to know what happened to his lost expedition.
So Throgmorton came looking at last. I knew someone like you would find me sooner or later.
I think it'd be an understatement to say your expedition met with disaster.
There are things that should never be found, Mr. Reed. I only wish I'd known that then. Maybe they'd still be alive. The scientists, my crew, none of them deserved what happened to them.
Did you know Albert Throgmorton made it to shore?
Albert survived? Is he here?
No. He didn't make it. He's dead as the rest. Murdered in the port. But what about the others?
I don't know. My crew left them down there, underwater. I ordered a rescue attempt, but they threatened mutiny.
You've got a good reason for leaving the expedition to die, right?
You weren't there. Day after day on that ship, it was a horror, Mr. Reed. We saw things. Not one of us dared sleep. It was an expedition into cursed waters, mark my words.
Tell me what happened on the last dive.
We had a system. The divers go down, then come up at a prearranged time. But not one surfaced that day. In the end, I sent a team to check. They returned with Albert, but all were half mad with fear.
I was on the Titania before I came here. It seems you were all hitting the bottle pretty hard. Why?
To stop them from rioting. To save them from despair. After those dives, anyone would turn to drink.
So, the diving did a number on your crew. But what happened in the port?
I don't know. They were calm until we docked, and then they lost it. And many good men lost their lives.
What were you looking for underwater?
The cause of all this. The stones, the flood, the monsters. The scientists found cracks on the seabed. They were working on some theory of how it connected to the madness.
The ocean floor splits open and that means hysteria on land. Really?
We spent days over the cracks. We heard things. Saw things looking back at us.
Could you take me out to where the last dive took place?
No. You can't follow them, Mr. Reed. It's suicide. Worse than suicide.
I'm a Navy diver, Captain. And with all due respect, I'm not afraid of boogeymen.
I don't care. I'm not taking you there. And besides, you'll never follow them without proper equipment.
Do you know where I can get a good diving suit?
My men got theirs from a local factory. If you're that bullheaded, I'll write down the address.
Where's the logbook from the Titania?
Well, I had it with me, but I was all out of it by the time I got here. I remember the surgery ward. When I came round, my things were gone.
Get better soon.
Scratch me. Please, please, just here. This itching is driving me insane.
Be safe. We don't have any free beds left.
you're the man who handled the problems in the port. Seem like a sharp sleuth. Want to make something on the side?
You pay, I work. What's the job?
Ah, a fellow businessman. I'm Vincent, but you can call me Vince. First task is to find the ship's log for the Pride.
Charles Reed. A few questions, if I may.
Sure.
Why are you looking for a ship log?
Maybe I'll tell you when the job is done. Right now, you don't need to know.
In my line of work, you don't get far without appreciating the need for privacy. I understand. What can you tell me about the Pride? I'm gonna need somewhere to start.
Mostly rumors. The captain was an exemplary patriot. Always had a flag with him. His last shipment may have been chemicals in metal barrels.
It could be resting on the seabed 1,000 miles away. What makes you think it can be found?
I wouldn't waste my money on you unless I had hope. Local drunkards say they saw the barge on the sunken road near the fish market.
Good. I'll check the place and bring you the Pride's ship log if it's still there. See you later.
Get off my ship, you newcomer rat! Get off my ship, you newcomer rat!
I wonder what happened to the chemicals. Good news. I got the ship log of the Pride, safe and sound.
Let me see. Yes. Yes. The last page is exactly what I need. Good job, Reed.
I expect the pay to be just as good.
Sure. Take this. And I have 2 more tasks for a man as capable as you are.
Find more ships. I wouldn't pass up the extra dollars or bullets.
These next ones won't be so easy. But you showed yourself a capable and trustworthy man. So prepare your guns. It might get hot. I've bought 2 more ships, Red Queen and Skylark. Both are troublesome.
The Red Queen. Sounds nice. What happened to Her Majesty?
You won't say that when you see it. It crashed near the asylum and, something happened to it. Made me shiver. Even when I saw it from afar.
Well, where do you think the Skylark flies?
I only have a guess. You see, it was no ordinary ship. The cargo on it, well, it was under prohibition, if you know what I mean.
You think the smugglers got it?
I saw a box with the ship's name. Some hobo was burning it for warmth. For a bullet, he told me he found it near the old Wharf Street harbor.
I'll get started, Vince. Soon the logs will be yours.
I'll be waiting here. We newcomers should stick together around these parts.
newcomers?
Someone unloaded the Skylark's cargo. And maybe they took the log as well.
Don't do that again.
Stop it! Oh, we thought the bear would take me.
Here's the log from the Skylark. The men who unloaded it were not happy to see me.
Unloaded? You mean the cargo survived the storm?
There were crates and armed men on guard. Looked like a local gang. I dealt with them, but it's not worth trying to claim your property.
But all that cargo, a small fortune. Perhaps you're right. It's better to be poor than dead.
A wise decision.
Fresh fish. Just caught, mister. Fresh fish. Just caught, mister.
You look tense, honey. You need to let loose.
cheaper than the rest. Extra, extra. All the news that's fit to print. Buy a paper, mister?
Seems after visiting Dr. Grant, the shop owner preferred to self-medicate. Those bloodstains would definitely attract wild beasts. I don't think he's going to tell me much about those monsters. I don't think he's going to tell me much about those monsters. Seems after visiting Dr. Grant, the shop owner preferred to self-medicate.
I'm watching you, newcomer.
vote is your choice. Choose wisely.
Every kid's childhood dream. I wanted a toy like that too once.
Your vote is your choice. Choose wisely. Your vote is your choice. Choose wisely. Your vote is your choice. Choose wisely.
The slime stinks even worse than the bodies. Weeks have passed since this food was cooked.
God! You... what is happening to me?
No matter how bad I feel, I have to go to work. Why can't you understand that?
Your vote is your choice. Choose wisely.
I called into the shop of your patient. Unfortunately, he committed suicide.
Oh, I wish I could say I was surprised. Sorry for wasting your time.
It wasn't entirely a waste. I found some evidence that sheds light on the origin of those creatures.
For what it's worth, Professor Westerbrook calls them Stygian harvesters. But what is it you found?
Your patient's diary. His dreams became too real, too confronting. He tried to stay awake using stimulants, but those Stygians appeared near him when he slept, as if they were leaking from his nightmares.
A psychic phenomenon or manifestation. How unnerving. I'm afraid he's not the only one suffering from such dreams.
Bye.